Boar's Head is bringing a slice of Japan to the deli. Introducing Boar's Head Ichiban Teriyaki-style chicken. Tender, slow-roasted chicken breast, coated in our signature teriyaki glaze, where ginger, garlic, and a hint of brown sugar meet for a flavor that's both sweet and savory. New Boar's Head Ichiban Teriyaki-style chicken. The bold flavor of Japan. Now at the deli. Only from Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.
Blog Talk Radio.
Well, good evening, folks, and thank you for tuning in with me once again to another edition of True Conservative Radio. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost, and once again, folks, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. I see there's a lot of people in the live broadcast already tuning in with me, and if you happen to be tuning in with me in the archive, the best way to find out when I'm going to conduct these sporadic shows is to follow me on Twitter. And, of course, folks, the Twitter account is twitter.com/ghostpolitics. All one word, no underscores, Ghost Politics. Follow me on Twitter. It's the best opportunity to figure out when I'm going to conduct these sporadic live broadcasts. Anyway, folks, it has been since last evening since I conducted a broadcast. I felt that we had some tremendous discourse in a variety of different fashions last evening. I really particularly liked last evening's program, so we're going to go ahead and roll it over to a new program this evening. I also find it that there's a lot of interesting political activities that are happening within the American political system, and we're going to go ahead and talk about those things right now. Now, first and foremost, folks, I want to talk about the news straight off the hot wire. We've got Nancy Plastic Face Pelosi, who's going to announce tomorrow morning her version of the great health care bill, the health care proposal that these damn Democrats have been trying to maneuver around with out there at Capitol Hill since God knows when. It's been such a long debate. You know, the damn issue has been at the forefront of the boob tube media and every other outlet of news and information gathering. It's no wonder why we haven't come up with some sort of a strategy or some sort of a solution by now. But once again, this is how things work when you allow power-hungry autocrats to take control of our government, and we, the people, are just completely lackadaisical in conducting ourselves when it comes to our obligations to this political system. But that aside, we've got Nancy Plastic Face Pelosi, who's probably going to go tomorrow morning in front of everybody, in front of all the cameras, in front of all the damn cameras that are going to get that glimpse of that disgusting-looking plastic mug. I mean, I hope the lights that are shining bright on that plastic doesn't melt her face off. And before she gets on that podium, she's going to be gumming her face with those dentures or, those teeth or whatever. If they're her teeth, I'm sorry, woman. You know, they look like a little bit too big for your voca. You know, that's Spanish for mouth, since you like to be so bilingual and immigrant accepting out there in California, old Pelosi. But anyway, Nancy Pelosi is going to decide to initiate her version of the new health care bill that we've been bamboozling around with for the past half year, or since the summer at least. I mean, I've just been so battle fatigued with all the bombardment of propaganda based upon this ridiculous health care bill. But as we announced yesterday, Harry Reid decided to initiate his particular health care option, which puts the infamous public option back on the table. Now, tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, Nancy Pelosi is going to go with her plastic mug, and she's actually going to initiate her version of the great health care bill. And even if the one in the House passes, the Senate passes, they both have to merge these ridiculous, grotesque specimens of actual statesman bills that are supposed to be initiated into legislation out here. So what exactly does Nancy Pelosi have to offer out here? Well, the price tag of her health care plan is going to be $1 trillion, according to preliminary estimates. $1 trillion over 10 years, according to the Associated Press out here. And of course, folks, it is no surprise when the first thing that pops to your mind, you don't even have to say anything, you don't even have to think anything. I know the first thing that's coming out of your mind, if you're a true conservative, is where's the money going to go? How are we going to pay for it? And yesterday, folks, this is why I allotted time in yesterday's program criticizing, yet critiquing, and yet admiring the honesty of Barney Communist Frank. Yesterday we discussed how Barney Frank got on the Bull Dyke Rachel Maddow show. And basically he was out there to fluff up the MSNBC leftist audience. And in that level of discourse between him and that Bull Dyke what's-her-face, he stumbled upon some honesty. He was blatantly putting it on the debating table, right on Rachel Maddow's show, because these leftists know that no right-wing or a Republican or a conservative or anybody on the right of the political spectrum is going to be watching this leftist filth on MSNBC. So yesterday we announced, or at least I announced, the emphasis that Barney Frank put on how they're going to pay for this ridiculous healthcare system whenever the final product comes about. And Barney Frank said in the interview with Rachel Maddow that they're going to put a little surtax on the wealthy, all right? And you know these damn propagandist liberals, who the hell is wealthy in America today, all right? I mean, it is their perspective of who is wealthy. It is their judgment call on who they think is wealthy. And let me tell you, who's going to be paying the crux of the bill is those on the upper and middle classes that have been suffering the burden far too long from this nonsense that's happening out here in America. But the price tag is $1 trillion, and in that interview with Barney Frank and Maddow, he alluded to the fact that there was going to be a surcharge or surtax on the wealthy Americans. It's not a big deal. It's just a small little surtax on the wealthy, whoever in the blue hell that is interpreted to be. And nobody made a big deal out of it. I think maybe Hannity had a little bit of some kind of a little small blurb on that particular observation that I wasn't the only one that caught on to. And now Nancy Pelosi is going to initiate her little health care bill. Oh, I'm going to introduce my little San Francisco-based little bill here, and it's going to be nice, and it's going to be put in little pink folders, and everything is going to look great. It's Nancy Pelosi. And she's going to initiate this $1 trillion health care initiative that's going to cost, over the span of 10 years, $1 trillion. And guess how it's going to be paid? Just take a guess. It's going to be paid by taxing, quote-unquote, high-income people. And for all you, people that are so dependent on the Medicare system, and this is going to give you a kick to the nuts, because they're planning on also cutting about $500 billion in payments to Medicare providers. All right? And according to this ridiculous initiation that Pelosi is going to initiate tomorrow morning, it's going to extend health care coverage to around 95% of Americans, according to all reports here. And it's disgusting. I mean, there are more serious issues to be discussing here. I mean, it just disgusts me. This is why, several years back when I started this program, everybody thought I was a hyper-sensationalistic individual. You know what I'm talking about? I used to get emails from all kinds of individuals that thought I was a nut job, a kook. I was the only one on the scene in America at the time when the Republican Party decided that it was going to announce John Turncoat McCain as its nominee for president. It was then that I knew that the rhinos and the so-called rhinos and the liberals in the Republican Party had hijacked the entire system. And then when they announced Sarah Bimbo Palin, let's not even go there because I'm going to get pissed off, and I don't want to get pissed off right now. I'm trying to make a point. And you see, folks, back then, during the election, I had Republicans and conservatives sit here and spread slanderous lies and personal attacks And they started agitating yours truly because I wasn't, playing ball with the institution of republicanism. And the reason I told them that I wasn't is because the Republicans lost the foundation of what made them Republican, and that was the conservative principles. That was the conservative ideology. That was an emphasis on the Constitution, an emphasis on the American way of life out here. None of this communist, government-funded horse crap that we are just coming to know and love out here like a bunch of jerkasses. And you see, folks, everybody back then just criticized me. I mean, I got on my favorites here a whole bunch of bookmarked blogs of ass clown Republicans, saying that I was an extremist wing of the right wing of the political ideology of America, that I was like some old fossil going out of style or something when I was sitting here saying the words communism, socialism, whenever I had my commentary. And it's in the goddamn archive, if you don't believe me. Go back in that damn archive and listen to it. I started using socialism and communism, these phrases that hadn't been used in such a long period of time, and I had everyone on the left and the right at the time saying that I was some sort of a crazy crack pipe. I was some moron, that I was some bona fide buffoonery out here, crying wolf or something. But now that all the things that I have predicted, and you can look back in the archives, folks, and check it out for yourself, have come to pass, it's really strange to me that now, all of a sudden now, a lot of the people that were out here critical of yours truly, a lot of the individuals that said the ideas that I was initiating all along were somehow equated to, some Alex Jones rubbish. I just want to say that it's no coincidence why our country is in the situation that it's in. I mean, it's sad, actually, because I think that we're in some serious problems, but, the remedies, or at least the healing to those wounds, aren't that difficult to pinpoint. You got all this health care debate all in the House and on the Senate. I mean, it's draining the resources and the energies of these old prostate-infected gas bags that are sitting on the bureaucratic chairs of power when they could be trying to do something to remedy the economic problems that are not only currently within our midst, but that are going to continue to be there for at least the next 20 years unless we start remedying some of these problems. We start emphasizing that, hey, wait a minute, let's take a look at our GDP. Let's take a look at our overall economy. And then some bonehead finally figures out, oh, wait a minute, we consume more than we produce, Mr. President. We consume more than we produce. Well, it's not good. You're damn right it's not good. It's not good because that's why there is high unemployment. This big stimulus package, and we're going to talk about that in a couple of minutes. This big stimulus package 2, that gave over $700 billion of the taxpaying dollars to God knows who out here. This was supposed to create, an unemployment rate at no higher than 8%. Remember when they told us that? Oh, if we pass the stimulus package, no higher than 8% will the unemployment rise. We are standing at 10%. And let me tell you, truth be told, I think we're a hell of a lot higher than that. I mean, all you got to do is just walk around this festering cesspool we call a country out here and look at all the, just uncreative, uncritical thinking individuals that are walking the face of the planet. Look at the lack of opportunity, the lack of even, damn it, I'm stumbling over my own tongue because I'm pissed off. The lack of economic opportunity for everyone out here. That's why people are suffering. That's why people are suffering out here. People don't want handouts. And I'm talking about the true conservatives. I'm talking about people that believe in the American system, not this socialist crap that we're coming to know and live here. And this is why I continue to do these broadcasts. I continue to do these broadcasts in hopes I spark synapses in you patriots out there. I'm not talking about you dumbasses out here that think that you're patriots because you're reading some teabag rhetoric. I'm not talking about you supposed imbecilic ass clowns that are worshiping these conspiracy theorist mouthpieces and thinking that you're patriots. I'm not talking about you leftist Karl Marx worshiping ass clowns that are out here with health care signs and saying universal health care and you want a public option and all this other crap. You're not a patriot either. I'm talking about the real patriots. I'm talking about the patriots that are out there that want to conserve and preserve the American Constitution, the American way of life, free market systems, capitalism, not socialism, damn it! Let me calm down, folks. I'm sorry. I actually tried, in an attempt to try to calm down for this show. I tried to calm down. I tried to make, a point to attempt to try to, prevent those types of outbursts. Because let me tell you, when you're dealing in the political spectrum like I do, folks, whenever I conduct these broadcasts, whenever I provide conservative commentary, whether it's, on this broadcast or in the blogs, you get a little hyper, you get a little hyper tense, you get a little angry a little bit because you can't believe that this country has fallen to the depths that it has. This is just, filthy scum. It's just disgusting. I mean, these people are plankton, for heaven's sake, in the sea of crap out here. A lot of these people are festering funguses, eating off the other living organisms. It's disgusting. But what are we talking about over here? Oh, yeah, we're talking about old Nancy Plastic-Face Pelosi with her new health care initiative that she's going to announce tomorrow morning. And let me tell you, folks, no matter what boob tube media outlet you're going to look towards tomorrow morning, all of their cameras are going to be focused on this disgusting scowl on this despicable human being that is the Speaker of the House. I mean, literally 3 steps away, into becoming the president, initiate her little bill out here. How great. And how is it going to be, funded? Well, of course, they're going to tax those that are high class or wealthy or whatever little terminology that they're going to use in this American system. And you see, what really makes me sick is that this is just classic class struggle, communist agitation. And we talked about this before, but I just want to reinforce what this is doing to our country, folks. Instead of allowing the free enterprise system to go, let me tell you what's happening here, and I'm going to re-emphasize it. I know you folks that have listened in before, please bear with me. What the Democrats have allowed to happen is allow these Wall Street, idiots and these bankers and all these financial institutions to raid the American taxpaying system. That's what happened in Stimulus Package 2, that $700 billion little piece of garbage this past spring that was passed. They said, we better pass it or, impending danger was going to happen. And if we don't pass it, unemployment was going to get beyond 8% and all this other malarkey. And where are we at? We're back to square one. We're not only back to square one, we have allowed these Wall Street bankers to take the money out of the American taxpaying wallet. And they, in turn, are publicly posting their bonuses. They are not shy about showing off how many billions of dollars they're going to give to these ass clowns that are in the executive branches of these financial institutions, all this money. And you see, the Democrats are going to use that as substance to justify why we should have lower pay, lower wages, cap on individual incomes. I'm telling you this right now, folks. And the same individuals that are getting the big bonuses from Wall Street, the Wall Street bankers, these people that got these big bonuses from our taxpaying dollars, they're going to Democratic fundraisers, like the ones this past weekend or a few days ago where Barack Obama was speaking in the East Coast. They were hoping to raise $3 million. Who do you think was buying these $10,000, $20,000 plates, whatever the hell it was? It was the Wall Street bankers that got the big bonuses from our tax-paying dollars. and we're funding. I mean, do you understand what kind of a ridiculous, sick, sadistic type of funneling system, financially funneling system that is happening right before our eyes? You know? It's just absolutely pathetic. And what's going to happen is we're going to usher in socialism, folks. We're ushering in socialism. This whole health care initiative, that is going to officially mark the stamp of the liberals and the leftists in this country of socialism defeating capitalism and the free markets and the American Constitution. And they are exploiting the so-called poor in America. They're exploiting the so-called sick and the so-called oppressed. They are exploiting them for as much emotional capital that they can milk out of people as they can possibly can. These people are emotional vampires. It's disgusting. Welcome to the new socialist America, folks. 646-652-4869. We got somebody here on the horn here. Stranger, are you there?
I think I am. Am I here?
Yeah, what's going on?
This is absolutely disgusting. This is absolutely the most evil takeover that has ever happened in the entire world. This country has been infiltrated and taken over, and it's been infiltrated from the lowest levels. It started at the lowest levels of the bureaucracy.
I agree.
And it has built its way up, and now what we have is Satan's minion at the top of it, who is doing everything he can to take over, take our very lives away from us. That's what this healthcare thing is all about. If they make the healthcare decisions, if they have the bureaucrat decide whether or not your life is worth a given procedure at a given time, and that bureaucrat has access to absolutely any information that the government has over you, that is the most powerful political weapon there is. Because that government bureaucrat will decide whether you are paying for it out of your own pocket or some other entity is paying for it, whether or not you can get a given healthcare procedure, including a flu shot, to an appendectomy, to a hip replacement, to anything else. This is an absolute totalitarian takeover by absolutely, completely evil beasts. This is...
Well, I completely agree with you there, stranger. Hello, you still there, sir? Well, I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, I really appreciate Stranger for his insight, but we've been talking about that for ages. We've been talking about how, the bureaucratic systems of government taking over the control of health care is definitely not good. It's definitely not good to have some damn bureaucrat, just kind of take over control of our government system, or take over control of our health care system, mind you. And somehow that's going to, somehow be some utopiistic, everlasting, healthy lifestyle until we're 110, 113. And you're exactly right. And aside from the health ramifications and, the bureaucratic ramifications of justifying not having or not giving people certain procedures because they're deemed too old or deemed too sickly or something of that nature, and allowing them just to get some pain pills or, get some methamphetamine or, hillbilly heroin, whatever it is, and allow them to die. And that is a very highly probable situation under any kind of government health care system. But once again, folks, as Nancy Pelosi tomorrow announces her $1 trillion version of the health care initiative, I want you to emphasize this not only to yourselves, but I strongly, from the bottom of my heart, ask you all to initiate this type of debate during the holiday season. We're about to go into Halloween season. We're going to go into Thanksgiving. We're going to go into the Christmas, Hanukkah, and New Year's Eve holidays. And I think that everyone should sit down and actually have a civil conversation about how we are going to deal with certain contradictions that are apparent within this system. How are we going to deal with them? And one apparent contradiction is this government-funded health care garbage. I mean, these people are calling themselves reformists, these blood-sucking liberal Karl Marx worshiping pieces of communist manifesto crap, these Maoist red book pieces of garbage. They're sitting here trying to initiate this as the disguise of reform. But there is no reform related to this health care system. If there was reform, then the insurance companies would have no part of the equation when it comes to patient health care. All right, we all know that the providers have to, have malpractice insurance, but that within itself needs to be curtailed with tort reform. We can't allow people to get judgments for $100 million because of some bad procedure. I mean, it's literally not only bankrupting, I don't give a crap about the insurance companies, but it's bankrupting healthcare providers that literally made honest mistakes, or it's just an unfortunate side effect of the practice of medicine. And you have to understand, folks, you as an individual, as the possessor of your body, you have a little bit of responsibility to figure out whether or not you're going to accept certain remedies or accept certain medications, accept certain healthcare practices that you deem, that you feel personally that you need, in my personal view. It came out today, or not today, it came out, a couple of days ago, one of the leading healthcare, I forgot his name, some healthcare provider out here that's some bigwig and, caring for patients when it comes to precarious, delicate procedures, basically came out and said that, all these continuous cancer screenings and yearly mammograms and colon exams and prostate exams, it's actually doing more harm than good to people. I mean, look that up for yourself. It's actually doing more harm than good. I mean, some of these growths that, some of these doctors find in people's bodies, some of them, according to this doctor, and of course I'm just paraphrasing. I wish I would have been able to tell you the doctor's name, but it was all over the boob tube about it, several days ago, or maybe even into last week, that all these medical procedures is just unnecessary. I mean, you have to understand our healthcare system, and I went over and over and over and over about it, but I don't want to get into it again, folks. Our healthcare system is based upon preset limits that the insurance companies pay for every single procedure known to mankind. And that's how a provider has to base their generated revenue. So as a result, if they find some sort of small growth within some kind of mammogram or something, they're just going to go right in there. They're going to tell you, oh, man, we found something. We got to go in there. And a lot of the times, according to this doctor, it's not necessary. I mean, it's not deemed, important enough to go through the whole procedure of cutting somebody up, having them go through anesthesia, and then going through the whole pain of side effects of chemotherapy, when in some cases it's just better to leave the damn tumor in there. I mean, seriously, folks, I'm not joking. I mean, it's just disgusting. I don't want to get into a big debate about cancer and stuff. It's a horrible ailment. We all don't want it. We all hope that we're never stricken with it, but more than likely we probably are, given the statistics, and nobody really gives two rats' asses. You know what I mean? We're more worried about swine flu and, pig flu and avian flu and ass flu and rotting of the crotch. We're more worried about that garbage than we are worried about, ridding the world of one of the biggest killers on the face of the planet, cancer. And do you think there's going to be any kind of a cure for cancer if the damn government takes over the healthcare system? You got another thing coming if you think that's going to happen. You got to be one stupid entitlement collecting, food card using, government cheese collecting piece of, project living crap if you actually believe that garbage. All right, I mean, honestly. Anyway, folks, I don't really want to talk too much about this. I think we've spent a lot of time on this ridiculous Nancy Pelosi new health care initiative in the House. She's going to announce it tomorrow. So if you happen to see her mug and you happen to see it all over the political newsreel tomorrow, you heard it here first on True Conservative Radio. But I'm going to go ahead and segue into something else, and I'm going to talk about Obama signing in as the new gay rights law. And for all you folks that aren't aware, apparently I wasn't aware of it either. I thought that the hate crime bill that was initiated during the Clinton administration covered not only the racial discrimination factor, but it also covered the hate on sexual orientation. I don't know. It was news to me. I know that you could, up until now, you could be charged with hate crimes regardless if you initiate violence on somebody based on their sexual orientation. Never did I know that, we needed more protection of any sort. But once again, folks, I have to say that this little initiative that, of course, you had Matthew Shepard's mother, Matthew Shepard, who I thought was one of the reasons why we initiated the hate crimes bill during the Clinton administration. Now we've got extended, I guess, civil coverage going to people of a, lesbian or gay persuasion. But I think that this is just horrible in my personal view, okay? But let me tell you why Obama decided to go public today and, go in front of some gay group or something and make this initiative of, I'm going to pass new laws protecting gay rights. And in the speech he talked about how, all gay people in America are going to be able to walk the streets and hold hands without the threat of being scolded or looked ugly upon or anything of that nature. And I'm paraphrasing, of course. And this is why we have Obama today initiating this gay rights law, this federally mandated hate law against people of opposite sexual orientation. Now, let me tell you, this is complete pandering, complete pandering to the homosexual community. And it makes me sick to my stomach, to be completely honest with you. Now, let's be honest. I'm going to put my cards on the table. I'm not too favorable of those on the gay persuasion. I don't really appreciate, the gay pride parades where, they're walking around half naked. They got butt plugs up their anal passage, and they're walking around. They're dancing that little stupid that kind of music and crap. I mean, they're sitting around, pink hair, and they got bondage, outfits on. I don't want to see that crap open in America. Okay? I mean, I don't want to see that, or I don't want to see regular heterosexual type of sexual deviancy. I don't want to see it, but because these demographic of individuals are listed as a different sexual orientation and they're given special privilege, which, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say that homosexuals deserve to have any kind of violence inflicted upon them at all. But God forbid, all right, if something happens to one of these individuals, like the sick morons that did that horrific tragedy to Matthew Shepard, these people were prosecuted under the law without this ridiculous, rights, gay rights, extended gay rights, whatever the hell that means. And you see, folks, I mean, this is why I hate these ridiculous, quasi, thought laws or these quasi, interpretations of what is hate and what isn't hate. I mean, if anyone inflicts violence upon anyone in this society, they get prosecuted in this country. I mean, don't you understand it? They get prosecuted. We have a legal system. We have a legal system that deals with this crap. That's why I'm not a big fan of domestic violence laws either, all right? I think it's a bunch of crap. And I'm sure, these feminists and these, women's shelters would be like, oh, my God, I can't believe you're saying that. Well, you know why I'm saying that? Because let me tell you, you can have as many women's shelters as you want. You can do whatever you want. It's all up to the individual if they want to be beat up or not be beat up. We even see it on the stupid Lifetime movies. whenever I'm sitting around and the wife's got the, movie on, she's watching Lifetime, there's nothing else to do, I've already done the lawn, or I've already done things that I needed to do around my home here. I'll watch a couple of these stupid movies just to get the feminist perspective, the feminist propaganda. I mean, it's disgusting. I mean, even they talk about, the abuser has a hard time leaving. I know she gets her brains beat in, and she's horribly abused, but she keeps going back, and whatever happened to free will out here? Whatever happened to individual responsibility? Do I feel that anyone should be inflicted violence upon? Absolutely not. All right? But, to sit here and make these dumb hate crime laws and domestic violence laws, it kind of initiates certain thought crimes. And it also gives a certain stature in the legal system to those that are supposed to be being protected. And what do I mean by that? I'm talking about, these extended laws, that I've vaguely read, but I already thought there was laws, but who the hell knows who's looking? So, Obama decides to throw some kind of gay rights, whatever the hell, into the picture of some federal mandate against, gay thought crimes or gay, I don't know. But what I am saying is if that, God forbid, somebody, attacked a homosexual has the right to prosecute that person and to the fullest extent of the law. They don't need no hate crime bill. Same with somebody who's getting their ass beat by their spouse. They have the opportunity to prosecute these pieces of crap, and I'm telling you, if you prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law, these people are going to do some serious time. It's not going to be some walk in the park. If you initiate these criminal charges on folks, it's extensive. But now they want it even more extensive. Now, what does this mean exactly? It gives homosexuals, in my opinion, a bigger stature than the average citizen. That means that, not only are they going to be secluded to their friendly environments of San Francisco and Vermont and wherever the hell, L.A., wherever the hell else they like to hang out, they're going to flaunt this grotesque, pervertedness right in the open in front of everybody. And if anybody has any kind of a problem with that, that's a hate crime. Even if you initiate some sort of insults at these individuals because you don't appreciate them being open perverts out in the street with their little gay bondage outfits on or whatever the hell they plan to do on their next gay parade. You don't appreciate this crap, you're going to be charged for a hate crime. Don't you understand? This is just disgusting. It's a disgrace. And let me tell you why Obama did it before we go on to the next subject matter. The reason Barack Obama initiated this gay rights federal whatever crap he's trying to initiate here, or he already initiated, he signed into law, is because the gays weren't happy with the military thing. They weren't happy with the don't ask, don't tell lift. They thought, Barack Obama, he tried to throw him a bone out there without, ruffling too many feathers. And the homosexual community weren't happy with that. I don't know if you folks remember when that news came out. I actually had a show during that time. They were upset. They wanted more. They want, a damn amendment in the Constitution for gay marriage. They want, oral copulation between two men to happen legally in front of a damn elementary school. That's what these damn idiots want! And you see, because, that little initiative of the lifting of the don't ask, don't tell didn't, it didn't win the hearts of the homosexual community. Well, of course, you had Barack Obama throwing crap on a wall to see what sticks. And lo and behold, what did he do? He came out with this supposed gay rights law. And let me tell you, I don't understand why homosexuals to begin with are, bowing down to liberalism. All right. Now let me talk to the gays for a second. All right. Now I'm sure you don't like me because of my.
Oh my God! You're so prehistoric, and you're a caveman, and I don't like that. I'm a little feminine bastard.
I understand that, and I understand that you don't like me very much, and I don't really give two rat's asses. This is America. We can do what we want. You cannot like me. You can call me a dumbass, whatever. All right? I'm just talking to you for a second. Why exactly are you a liberal? Well, why exactly are you trying to, abide yourself by this political persuasion? Because what? The liberals throw you a bone every now and then, supposedly trying to, instill your rights, huh? I mean, come on, give me a break here. I mean, I'm talking to the homosexuals right now. I want you to stop being liberal. That's right. I want you to stop being liberal because, first of all, they're never going to give you gay marriage, all right? Not only are they going to not give you gay marriage, they're not going to initiate any of these laws. The only thing they're doing is allowing you to go ahead and have these damn gay parades. And I know that at least whatever is the intelligentsia of the gay community doesn't appreciate all this open pervertedness that the gay community has become synonymous with. So I think that this hurts the gay community big time. This initiation and this of this homosexual law, whatever it is. And I think what homosexuals need to understand is that they are the most taxed people on the face of the planet. Because, if you're a homosexual, you don't have any children. And if you are homosexual with children, you better have been with your partner for at least 10, 12 years, and you're doing the whole Melissa Etheridge thing, even though that didn't work out very well. But usually you're not going to have any children. So that means you're going to have to pay the brunt of the taxes of all these breeders. That's what the homosexual community calls straight people that are of the regular persuasion. They're breeders.
Oh, there's a breeder. A breeder. Oh, look, there's a breeder right there.
But you are the ones funding the breeder's little entitlement monopoly here, this little entitlement game. That's right, homosexuals. I mean, haven't you ever checked out your checks and all the taxes that are taken out so that you can fund these breeders' children out here? I mean, doesn't that piss you off? Doesn't that kind of, just, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to stop myself from, saying something that could be construed a hate crime. I mean, even though I think that freedom of speech is freedom of speech, all right? I mean, since we're going to have hate crimes for homosexuals and all these groups, since we're trying to make not only class warfare, but, all kinds of other segmented type of dissension, why don't bald people, I'm not bald, fortunately enough, I'm glad I was, not a bald bastard, but believe me, I know a lot of bald people. All right, and it's unfortunate. I would, probably, be kicking myself in the ass every day if I had a bald head. And I think it's sad, but these people are always picked on. They're always called cue ball, and, you got people shining their bald heads. All the horseplay around bald people. Now, why can't bald people get, hate crime bill for themselves? You hear a lot of bald slang. That bald bastard, that fat balding piece of crap. I mean, why don't bald people? Why don't we extend that even more? All right. How about people who have, who like yellow mustard pants? All right. I mean, how about that? How about yellow mustard pants? All right. Anybody who has yellow mustard pants can walk down the street, and if anybody yells anything about, oh yeah, how do you like that yellow mustard pants, you fruity bastard? Boom, you're thrown in jail for a hate crime. What about people with dog farting fetishes? How about that? I mean, I'm sure that's not a highly looked upon fetish in the sicko pervert community? Huh? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of hatred vented towards people who, appreciate dog farts. I mean, why don't we just go ahead and initiate a bill for them so that they're not thrown in jail for sniffing a dog's poopy area? I mean, I'm not joking, folks. I mean, this is the kind of this is the road we're going down. It's disgusting, it's despicable, and this is all political pandering by the Democrats and by the liberals. All right? I mean, like I said, the liberals initiated this lifting of the don't ask, don't tell. The homosexual community was not particularly happy about it. They weren't, waving their palms and, saying yay for the pink team. They weren't doing that. So, of course, Obama had to pander to them once again because they don't want to lose the homosexual community because, well, frankly, the homosexual community is a pretty good demographic that is paying for most of the garbage that these liberals are initiating. Yeah, that's right, because they know that, most of the time homosexuals, they don't have any children, they don't have any dependents, so they're taxed to death. There's a lot of health problems related to the, that community, and, probably not going to collect Social Security, so on and so forth. So these people are funding a good portion of this liberal spend, thrift, this spendorama that we're doing in America today. So, of course, he has to pander to these people. But I'm telling the homosexual community, face to face. I mean, do you want to continue to fund these breeders that are out here shitting out 8 kids, and our tax-paying dollars are funding $8,500 a month in government subsidies to these pieces of crap? I mean, just ask yourself that for a minute, there, homosexual. All right, just ask yourself that for a minute. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and move on to another subject matter, folks. And the other subject matter I wanted to talk about is we're going to come back to this stimulus package, too. Because I know it's an old issue. I know it's already been said and done, and, over $700 billion, close to $800 billion. It's at $787 billion of our tax-paying, hard-earned money was just squandered away. And just to keep these people honest, you got these bean counters, these individuals that are actually trying to find out where this money is going. Luckily, we still have these individuals that are true patriots and that are out here trying to investigate what's happening to the taxpayer dollars. Well, remember all the lies they told us about if we don't pass the stimulus package that the damn economy was going to collapse, and that and before you know it, that all this crap. And Obama recently, and of course the administration and the liberal regime have boasted how, the stimulus package has, brought in 30,000 new jobs. That's right. We've brought in 30,000 new jobs since the stimulus package. And we're going to promise to implement 3.5 million total. But this year, up to this point, we've added 30,000 new jobs because of the stimulus package. Well, come to find out, it's a bunch of horse crap. That's right. It's a bunch of horse crap. All right? I mean, let me tell you where a lot of this money is going, okay? And these 30,000 jobs that are counted within this figure, okay? And this is according to Associated Press here, right? A Colorado-based Teltech Government Solutions, all right? Teltech Government Solutions. They work with the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, and supposedly its job count totaled a $28.3 million contract for call centers, trying to gather questions about the great digital conversion of televisions and whether or not they were having the smooth transition. Remember that malarkey? Yeah, that's right. This company claimed that it reported that it had produced 4,231 jobs. Yeah. And it was one of the highest numbers listed in the first stimulus package accounting, And come to find out that 3 3,000 of those 4,231 jobs, 3,000 of them had only received a paycheck for about 5 weeks or less. I mean, do you understand what kind of, smoke and mirrors game that they're doing with our tax-paying dollars, and the American people just, sit there and, play with their damn pecker shaft and, put a finger in their poop chute, which is dingleberry-ridden and a little nutty? I mean, give me a break, all right? Anyway, because of the tracing back of this discrepancy of our funds, of our tax-paying dollars, they've now readjusted the job count to about 1,000. All right? And remember, what meets a job that should be reported is a full-time job, a 40-hour work week position that is held for 1 year. All right? That is what a new job requires. That's the definition of a new job for all you ass clowns that are asking, all right? A 40-hour week position that is held for at least 1 year. Okay? So one of the biggest, sources of this 30,000 new jobs out of Teltech Government Solutions, it had claimed 4,231 jobs. Well, it turns out it was only 1,000. But they still collected $28.3 million for the contract, so you do the math. There's another one out here. Okay? There's a Toledo-based company called Coring Group, who also, received Federal Communication Commission contracts to help people
Make the great switch to digital television over here.
And lo and behold, they said they had 26 workers that were basically working both contracts. All right? So they counted those people as twice. All right? And each job lasted about 2 months. I mean, do you understand that the discrepancies with the liberal regime out here claiming that they have 30,000 new jobs thanks to the stimulus package, and, when people are out here trying to do the math and investigating the actual numbers and where the money's actually going, it's a bunch of discrepancies and a bunch of fraud and a bunch of garbage. I mean, this is my point with the stimulus package, and of course, we're going to have another initiated stimulus package here after this health care bill is either passed or trashed. And I prefer the latter, folks, all right? I prefer the latter. I mean, I just don't understand, why no one else in this country is getting as mad as I am. I mean, remember during the campaign,
Oh, we're going to change the country.
and you remember all those ass clowns? I'm sure you had one in your family. One of these stupid liberals that, was fed the hype about, change, and yes, we can, and all this crap. And they just were so hyper-sensationalistic, and they were, hyper, and they wanted you to go out and vote, and they wanted you to vote for Obama because, he was going to change the country, and he was going to make everything better, and it was going to be a chicken in every pot, and a Cadillac in every driveway, and everybody was going to be rolling around on dubs, or whatever the crap they were trying to sell. But now look at us, 10% unemployment, and that's according to the, cookbook numbers that they're trying to show us out here in the accounting office out here. Now, I mean, do you see any kind of economic opportunity in this service industry-based economy, huh? Oh, yeah, you could probably be a general manager at a damn Applebee's or something, huh? You could probably be a damn GM at the, Ooh La La bar down the street. But are there any jobs like there were back in the 80s? Back in the 90s? Absolutely not. They're all shipped to China. They're all shipped to India. They're all shipped to South America. And the corporations that did it got tax money to do it. They got your tax money to do it. And what did you do? Oh, you went out and you had a field day on your credit card, right? Oh, yeah, I'm going to go buy the pet rock, honey. I'm going to go buy that singing fish that flaps around whenever somebody blows a fart or something. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to blow the money on all this crap. Oh, yeah, I got the new Guitar Hero. Yeah, I'm so star fetish that I got to be a Doug Jagoff in my room in my dirty, shitty, smelly underwear playing a stupid guitar guitar that's not even a real guitar, it's some plastic piece of crap. But I'm out here and I'm looking at myself in the mirror, seeing how I would look like as a star, because I'm so star fetish. That's what I am. I'm a part of the American public. I'm a part of the American pop culture. I'm so star fetish. That's right. I wish that I could be in the anal passage of Adam Lambert, because he looks so starish, so gleamy. Oh, yeah, that's the American public that we know today. And don't you idiots realize, all right, don't you idiots realize that you have an obligation to this country? This is a government made for the people and by the people, you stupid piece of... you piece of crap. And do you think I give a crap? My chest is pumping. I can feel my heart burst through my damn chest cavity. But do you think I give a crap? Do you think I give a crap? I don't. I don't. If I sit here and keel over, if I sit here and die, I hope all you idiots that are listening to me get inspired and go out there and do something about this country. Do something about this goddamn nation. Do something about this and for your children, for your grandchildren. Don't be a selfish ass clown. You stupid, self-indulgent, gluttonous piece of crap. It makes me sick. I better calm down, folks. Let me get a glass of water. Let me get a glass of water. Anyway, I really don't appreciate what's happening here in America, folks. As you can tell from all the passion and all the fury that I unleash on this program. You, I hope at this point, giving all the shows that I have conducted up to this point, I hope that you understand that I have passion and I have fury for this American government, American system that we have. Screw the American government, the American system. And let me tell you, our days are numbered. If this health care thing passes, our days are numbered. And I wish there was an independent, somebody on the fringe, some fringe Republican that was, as level-headed as most conservatives out here and initiate a bill that basically yanks the insurance company out of health care completely. I mean, don't you understand a complete privatized healthcare system is not only completely feasible, but it will bring down the prices of every single damn medical procedure known to man? And we already have a model. We already have a model that we can base this synopsis on, and that's the cosmetic surgery industry, folks. The cosmetic surgery industry. I mean, a boob job 20 years ago, 25 years ago, cost over $20,000. Now you can get it for $2,500. $2,500. I mean, it's cheaper to get a damn boob job than to get a damn boob biopsy. All right, I mean, I had a woman come into the chat room some months back saying it cost her about $8,000, $9,000 just to get a damn biopsy on her breast to figure out if the damn growth within her breast was cancerous. It's disgusting. And I think that everyone out there within the sound of my voice, and I know there's thousands of people that listen to me on the podcast and on the download, I definitely would like for you to please analyze what's happening to our country and to overemphasize this Thanksgiving, this Christmas. As you're sitting down having a holiday meal, I'd like for you all to initiate the conversation and try to convince your family members that this health care bill is disgustingly evil and it's going backwards. It's going to take away the idea of free market enterprise. It's going to take away the idea of one reaping what they sow. And I'm not talking about that in the bad sense. I'm talking about that in the good sense. I'm talking about you get what you put in. All right? You work hard, well, you're going to get paid for it. Well, not in this new socialist America. Not with this new restructuring, redistribution of wealth, whatever you want to call this blatant agitation of class struggle. All right? And class struggle is a classic agitation method, is a tool utilized by all communist governments and all leftist nations to subjugate the people. To subjugate the people while continuing industrial growth. Class struggle, folks. Look at Mao Zedong. Mao Zedong, the reason that people admire his government so much, and that's why the United Nations is, pussy pampering China and giving them human rights awards and all this other nonsense, because they were able to implement a totalitarian communist society while still industrializing a whole agrarian society at 15% of economic growth a year. From 1950 to 1967, there was 15% of growth each year in China, and Mao was able to industrialize the whole entire nation of China based upon this totalitarian, authoritarian system. All right? So it's no coincidence that you have this same type of class struggle that Mao implemented upon his people. And let me tell you something about Mao. I mean, he is a disgusting piece of rice-eating crap. And I hate Mao. And let me tell you, if I could just get around this idiot's grave, I would love to take a dirty diarrhea crap right on it. All right? I mean, seriously, I would love to do it. I mean, he's a piece of crap, and I can't believe that, we have a whole country of people in China being forced to admire this piece of trash, this double-chinned, fat jelly-ass, pork-bellied bastard, Mao Zedong. But you see, folks, the reason that the United Nations is giving him props, and the reason that the industrialists and the individuals that are the big-time capitalists, in the world economy, the reason that they're giving them so much props is because, folks, they have been able to industrialize a nation faster than democracy under totalitarian communism. And you see, folks, this is what gives all the communist substance. Any communist that you talk to, any leftist that you talk to, will point to the Chinese model as a reason why we should implement and embrace this communist notion. And what I say to that communist crap? I say piss off. I say I spit on communism. I spit on communism, and I spit on the Communist Manifesto. Piece of crap. 646-652-4869. Obviously, we got somebody here waiting. What's going on? 219, you're on the air.
What's going on, Ghost?
Nothing much.
Hey, man, I'd like to say that I agree. I've told you before, I get a kick out of it when you snap. I really do. But it's because you have heart and passion involved in it. And I got to tell people, they're not going to like what I'm about to tell them. It's time to get off your ass. There is no more talking. There is no more deciding. They're coming for you. What do people not understand about the fact that we ran a march on Washington? They didn't give a fuck. I'm sorry. They didn't give a shit. They didn't give a crap. They don't care. What part of this don't people understand? They don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about your wife, your husband. They don't care about your kids. It's all about their agenda. What is it going to take?
I don't know. It seems like everybody's just wanting a little bit more stimulus money so they can go out and buy Chinese goods on
and I got to tell you, man, if I keep hearing this BS, I'm going to snap. I swear I am. I heard those tapes. Where's the money coming from? Well, it's coming from the state. Where's the state getting it from? Oh, it's coming from the government. Where's the government? Oh, it's Obama's stash. I'm going to snap on these people, and because I'm a white man, then therefore I'm racist. I'm tired of all of it.
I'm telling you, it's getting dangerous out here. It's getting dangerous, this agitation that the leftists are putting forth. not only with the racist agitation, but now with the homosexual agitation, the gender dissension agitation. I mean, they are trying to hit up everyone at all fronts so that they can throw everything in disarray. It's no coincidence why Acorn was helping a supposed prostitute and her pimp get free housing so that they can ship in 13-year-old El Salvadorian girls to prostitute themselves. It's no coincidence.
And they have no problem with it. None.
No, and it's no coincidence because they are being used. I'm talking about Acorn as a tool by the liberal regime to implement class struggle. And this is what this is. It's class struggle, throwing everything in disarray so that it makes the bureaucratic system of this communist-style regime pertinent, relevant. I mean, that's exactly what FDR did during his tenure in office, and that communist piece of crap makes me sick. I can't believe that we even refer to him as a president. He was a dictator, and you could tell anybody I said that.
I'm going to tell you something, and I don't give a damn who hears it. I'm done. This is probably the last time anyone's going to see me on Blog Talk Radio. I'm done with all of it. Lock and load, it's time. Everybody wants to talk, but maybe we can vote them out. Court, we can vote them out. There's no more voting out. Wake up. There's no more. They want us in revolution. And the problem is, it's going to be a civil revolution. I'm not having a part of it. I'm taking me and my family, and we're skipping our happy asses out of here. I'm not doing it. I'm not killing my fellow man because of these ignorant people. I'm not doing it.
Well, I hope it doesn't come to that, sir. I mean, I'm trying to hope that the system of government and the system of America is still preserved, but somehow America can rise up outside of its gluttony and its consumerism and go out and participate in this government that was made by the people and for the people.
Ghost, what have they done? They're not listening. The people went out there 2 to 3 million strong and said enough's enough. Did they listen?
Okay.
If we go 5 million strong, Obama got his pretty ass on a freaking plane and bounced his ass up out of here. He can't even prove he's president. What are you doing?
Well, these are pretty strong words, sir. You're pretty passionate about this, obviously.
Well, prove me wrong.
Well, I've always, wondered, how this character, why this character has come to power. I said during the campaigns when he was rising in popularity based upon a cult of personality that it was very similar to how Hitler came to power in a democratic Germany. It was, very precarious, but even, emphasizing those types of characteristics, proved to you being classified as some sort of a kook or something. So, sir, I think that you're right. I think that, the American people, with all due respect, that's why I always say that the American public sucks. They're more worried about their own gluttony, their own consumption. They're more worried about materialism than they are their own preservation of their liberty and freedom. And you say that you're skipping up and leaving the country? Is that what you're saying?
No, sir. I'm saying I'm not going to be the stupid, ignorant fool in the streets fighting other people for food when I know the truth. I'm taking my ass to the woods with my family. We already have a predetermined spot. We're gone. These ignorant fools can fight it out themselves because they don't want to listen. I'm not being a part of it.
All right. Well, stay on the line. We're going to get somebody else here on the program here. 503. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, Ghost.
How's it going? You have anything to add here?
Yeah. Well, I just want to say I get a kick out of you, first of all. Second of all, I'm a younger woman. I'm 20 years old. I have a husband. I have a child, and I'm an American. I write political blogs on my MySpace, and I get attacked every single day from freaks on the left who think automatically that I'm a rich, evil, greedy person who doesn't want to see people get health care, and I haven't walked a mile in their shoes. And I'm really tired of it because these are some of the most vicious, evil, I don't know what they are. They just want to be controlled by a master, I guess, ultimately.
If you have the money, take that money and use it to your advantage and get the hell up out of here.
Well,
but I don't know where to go. I love America. I want my America
I don't mean
back.
leave America. I mean buy a cabin somewhere where you can feel comfortable. I'm telling you guys right now, and nobody wants to listen to me. I've been right for 4 years. I'm telling you right now, enough's enough. It's over with. We're done. What's going to happen?
Sir, I try to assert at least a certain level of optimism within my programming, because I know that if the people would just get off their gluttonous asses and put the boob tube down and put the fork down for about 5 minutes and actually conduct themselves like they should in a government that was made for the people and by the people, that the government would crack. But what's unfortunate is people are starstruck, they're star fetish, they want to see the latest idiot dance around with a gerbil up his shit funnel on American Idol, then they're all worried about preserving their own freedom, preserving their own liberty, and you know what, sir, I know that you probably are at your wit's end and you're like, you know what, forget it, I'm going to the woods, I'm living off the land, screw these people. But, sir, we can't do that. If that happens, if complete and total chaos, like you suggested, happens, I mean, it's going to be to a proportion unlike seen anywhere else in world history. I mean, I think it's going to make the reign of terror that the French Revolution had to go through look like a picnic.
Ghost, people don't even understand we're still under British rule, let alone what the hell's going on above that.
What are you talking about?
I can prove it. We're still under British rule. Okay, go to the bar exam, the Bar Association, the people we hire to be our attorneys. Do you know what BAR stands for? British Accreditation Registry. That means the British individuals allocate them to represent us. And I went to court under a gun law, and I told them I had all rights to have a gun on me under the Constitution, and because I had a concealed carry weapon, I had a concealed carry permit. They considered me innocent and still gave me fines. I was innocent and gave me $170 in fines. We are still under British law.
Well, I don't know about the British law, but I can agree with you that law enforcement is a wing of the government to directly tax the American people with these ridiculous laws they put into place just so that the state can accumulate more funds for their bureaucratic endeavors upon us.
No, what you don't understand is our government under D.C. is a corporation. Therefore, any affiliation underneath the United States government that we claim today, meaning the police department, the judges, the prosecutors, any of them are government I'm getting pissed off. They're corporations. You can look it up underneath Bar and Barstow, or Dun and Barstow. They are all corporations, meaning privately owned, along with our prison systems.
Well, I know our prison systems are privately owned. I don't know about our court systems per se, but I mean, let's not get into conspiracy theories or
No, let me ask you a question, Ghost. Let me ask you a question. When you go to a court of law and you are there to represent yourself, does the judge not have a right to give you a fair trial? Correct?
Of course, but we all know.
Wait a minute. Who pays the judge?
I know I know what you're going to say. I know what
conflict of interest.
I know what you're going to say. You're going to say that the individuals who have the most money end up basically getting away scot-free.
I'm saying the judge is paid by the federal government. Therefore, it's a conflict of interest before you even walk in the door.
Oh, well, I agree, but, that's just the court of law. It's just the way the system works. I mean, it's either the system that we have and under the rule of law or no law and chaos.
Ghost, that's a problem. We don't operate under common law anymore. We work under a tyranny, which is the same reason you're getting pissed off.
I understand what you're saying, but with all due respect, sir, you're getting a little bit Alex Jonesy on me, or Jordan Maxwell. It sounds like Jordan Maxwell's rhetoric. And, with all due respect, I understand the conflict of interest that you're suggesting, that the federal government pays the judge, and lo and behold, there's a conflict of interest. But with all due respect, I mean, this is the system that had worked up until this point, up until the bureaucratic mechanisms of government and of education and of the judicial system were hijacked.
This system was hijacked in 1871 under the Civil Rights Act, and if you look down through the Civil Rights Act, it turned our government into a corporation. That is why your driver's license, your insurance card, the bills that come to your house are in capital letters because there is a fictitious you. Please, anybody, prove me wrong.
Fictitious you? All right, man. I mean, with all due respect, sir, and we lost the caller at 509 because, she probably didn't want to conduct herself within this malarkey. But 509, please call up again. Look, I've heard these little conspiracy theories before, with all due respect to the individual that called up suggesting them. I know, Jordan Maxwell saying we're still under British law, and this is, the law of, the water or some crap. And, I mean, he makes all these correlations with, linguistic type of connections and somehow swoons a crowd of people to get paid for a lecture at some conspiracy hall somewhere. But, what's really unfortunate, folks, is that we need to stop this also, this nut job nonsense that's trying to suggest to you that what we should do is go into chaos there. And with all due respect to the gentleman that called up, I mean, that's what you were suggesting. You were suggesting that everything's going to go into chaos and the government is just, it's nullified, the rule of law is nullified, and nobody wins in chaos, all right? I mean, that's what anarchists want. All right, I mean, that's what Alex Jones wants. Why do you think that Alex Jones is always claiming that, look, it's the Bilderbergs, it's the Bohemian Grove, it's Obama and the communists, he just says whatever it is to get you to buy that next video, buy that next month's edition of his website, and that's all there is to it. All right, I mean, it's a battle of ideas, you morons. I mean, with all due respect, stop getting yourself so hyper-sensationalized. All right, stop sitting on a G.I. Joe with a condom on it. Take it out. All right, and start thinking with your noggin. All right, it's not brain science. It's a battle of ideas. Either you're a leftist who believes in a quasi-socialist or communist society, or you're someone who understands that, we have a certain rule of law and a certain mechanism of government that has worked up to this point. And, because, there is a contradiction within the system, all of a sudden you have these hyper-sensationalists wanting to overthrow the government. I mean, you heard that gentleman in the previous call. He was talking about locking and loading, that, civil unrest doesn't do anything, and civil demonstrations don't do anything. Well, the reason they're not doing anything, sir, is because this goddamn ignorant America. This American country is so damn ignorant and so stupid. I mean, have you looked at movie commercials nowadays? They don't even tell you what the damn movie's about. They just show you a couple of action sequences, or, a cut of a chick's ass, or a cut of a chick's boobs, or a half a naked person, and lo and behold, this damn thing's making about $50 million at the damn box office. They don't even know what the damn movie's about. And then after they leave the movie, after they've already given the stupid production company $50 million, they're like, oh, I really hated that movie. That was really stupid. Well, you were stupid for not inquiring about what in the blue hell you were actually going to pay your hard-earned money to see. Can you see, folks? This is why I'm saying. I understand that the contradictions that we're currently seeing within our government are blatant. They're out in the open, all right? I mean, the corruption and all the lies and the deception, they're out in the open. I mean, we can smell them, for heaven's sake. It smells like a disgusting, despicable construction site urinal. But, folks, the reason that they got to this point is because of the lack of participation, the lack of critical thinking, the lack of critical participation in this government by the American people. And why? Well, because, folks, we were just too anesthetized with consumption. And whose fault is that? Who are you going to blame? I'm sick and tired of having these consumers blame manufacturers and advertisers and individual businesses because they got fat, or because their product gave them, an infection of the crotch or some crap like that. I'm sick and tired of it. I mean, we were having a personal responsibility. I mean, that was the pinnacle point of our country. It's personal responsibility out here. Nobody wants to take any kind of personal responsibility. Nobody wants to put any kind of emphasis on the individual. Instead, they've got their hand out, the big brother government, saying, please give me some more beans so I can go out here in front of my family and not look like a schmuck, so I can buy myself a Cadillac rolling on dubs, so I can go out and get myself a tax-funded house to make myself look like a success. America has become a gluttonous, consumeristic, materialistic hellhole. And instead of standing up for our liberties, instead of standing up for our freedoms, we've accepted this. Excuse me. I really don't know what else to say. I really don't know what else to say. It's all up to you, folks. This is your free will here. It's all up to you. If you were going to be one of these idiots that decides,
well, my vote doesn't count, and my political participation doesn't count.
Well, then you're part of the problem, you stupid ass clown. The first thing people need to do is get local. And what do I mean by getting local? I'm talking about going around and finding out who people are within your community. Gather up phone numbers and emails. No reason to get too personal with people, but just try to establish a common interest, a common issue. Even if it takes going door to door, even if it takes going up to people in the streets and in public arenas and parks, that sort of thing. Be careful with the parks because you got them fruity asses going out there, toe tapping out there, but you just go up to people and try to exchange ideas. And if you find that these individuals take your ideas with a grain of positivity, well, then exchange numbers or obtain a number, obtain an email address, and gather these people around so they can exchange more ideas and have them politically active. Inform these people about certain things that are happening within the community. Inform them about the contradictions that the representatives and the people that are representing the people are blatantly doing under the stealth of ignorance. This is the kind of thing that we need to be doing if you really care about this country. All right? This is what's going on. People have gotten lazy. People think that, all they got to do is, go to work and come home and pay their bills and, that's it. That's somehow the equivalent of what their life obligations are. But, let me tell you, it's government too, you ass clown. This government was made for the people and by the people. And if the people are not going to participate in the government, well, who's going to take control of the mechanisms of power? Well, it's no coincidence that we have these Wall Street bankers having an open raid on the American tax-paying system, and yet no one seems to notice, and no one seems to care. Everybody just seems to say, oh, it's okay, just as long as I get my $500 stimulus package check. Oh, I can't wait. It's disgusting. I just don't understand why we can't, as an American people, understand that we have to come together in America to save America. And I'm not talking about in some collective fashion to, I had this discussion with a young man yesterday. We do have to collectively come together to emphasize individualism. We have to come together collectively so we can emphasize individualism because, folks, I don't really want the government giving me money. I'd rather have a private sector giving me an opportunity. But the only way the private sector is going to give us an opportunity is if we start adjusting ourselves to the economics of the world and understand that there are some hard discrepancies with some of the trade agreements that we have with other countries. There are some hard discrepancies with what America is paying to go out and basically democratize the world and spread markets and build infrastructures in other parts of the globe. We have to understand, folks, that a lot of this, world economy and this idea of spreading liberal democracy throughout the international community, whether it's by institutional liberalism, whether it's by neocon power liberalism, or by pacifist liberalism through NGOs and those sorts of fashions, either way, I don't think that the American people understand the amount of burden that they've had to put up with so that they could democratize the entire world. And as a result, we find ourselves in so much debt. And we find ourselves in a situation where people are so consumed with consumption, and they're so consumed with gluttony and materialism that it supersedes anything else within their life. I mean, just think about it, folks. Why do you think our children are so stupid and they're more worried about getting some materialistic widget than they are a hug from their family? Huh? Just give me a break. I mean, these people they would cream in their pants if you gave them an iPod as opposed to giving them a hug, all right? That's disgusting. But why? Well, ever since they're young, ever since they go into school, they are taught every single day in school and every night when they watch the boob tube and all these damn materialistic commercials. They are taught that materialism and consumption supersedes any other idea of happiness. It supersedes any other idea of anything else, whether it's family, whether it's culture, whether it's yourself, whether it's your own integrity. And this is why we have, such a socially ill-infested society, because materialism, gluttony, generating revenue has superseded everything, all right? It's a disgrace. I mean, this is why I'm saying, folks, that, we got to calm our asses down, all right? I mean, we have to understand that America is a peculiar situation within the globe, and that a lot of people want to see us fall. Even those within our own country for some reason. These damn liberals that have taken over the damn bureaucratic systems of government, they want to see this country fall, even though they benefited from it. I mean, just look at some of the Hollywood specimens that have come out and blatantly embraced socialism. Bill Maher, what the hell's his name, David Letterman, some of them bimbos from The View. I mean, they're embracing socialism. They even say it by name. Oh, socialism isn't that bad. And yet these people are talking all this socialist nonsense behind million-dollar houses and multi-million-dollar contracts and, reaping the rewards of the capitalist free market system, and yet they want to put you and your children into bondage, right? They want to limit the opportunity for you and your children because you don't deserve it. Oh, but they'll package it up as if it's some sort of compassion for humanity, that, socialism is going to somehow become some utopian dream, and everyone's going to get a piece of the pie, and everybody's going to, never going to long for food, and no one's going to be poor, and everybody's going to be housed, and all this other nonsense. I mean, don't you understand that we have an obligation here? I mean, this is why I cannot hold a lot of the responsibility that's happening to the American people on the powers that be that are implementing this destruction. I mean, one has to, take a look at the American people themselves. I mean, this is a free will society, all right? That's what's unfortunate. No one wants to take responsibility for one's individual actions. I mean, you look at the bimbos that are shitting out 8 kids, they're like, oh, well, I need the $9,000 in government subsidies because, I need them, I'm stupid, and all this crap. And now you've got a whole population of these women out here, going into grocery stores and buying steaks and, all kinds of lavish foods on our tax-paying dime on a food card given to them by the state. I mean, this is what we've come to accept, folks, and I don't want to accept it anymore. I mean, I think that we just need to disband all these ridiculous government-funded programs. All right, Social Security especially. I mean, give me a break with Social Security. And I know these baby boomers are getting all butthurt, because they're pissed off because, now some of the individuals in the younger generations are starting to question about this crap. Let alone an old codger like myself. I mean, I'm only saying what's right for the young people out here. I mean, I know that the young people are stupid. And I know that the average male under the age of 30 looks like they just popped out of the anal passage of, Freddie Mercury hopping out of a damn San Francisco bathhouse. But folks, to be completely honest with you, I mean, I have some tremendous empathy and compassion for the young people today that are being severely raped. They're being severely raped with no Vaseline by the baby boomer generation that just took and took and took. And I think it's sad that these baby boomers are sitting here, and these are the individuals that are in power right now. These are why do you think that we've gone so left all of a sudden? I mean, this is the spirit of Woodstock that's in power today. This is the spirit of,
oh, yeah, free love, and, yeah, hippie and peace, and I'm dropping acid, dude,
and all that crap. I mean, this is the spirit of David Ayers and Weather Underground and the Black Panthers and all these, super leftist groups out here. This is it right here. We are witnessing it firsthand. And what does the American people do? They're not doing a damn thing. What are they doing? They're not doing a damn thing. They're just sitting there. So once again, folks, if you're just going to sit there, and if you're just going to
there's nothing I can do about it. It's just one vote.
If you're not going to take responsibility and go out and get to know your community, all right, and not everybody's going to agree with you, folks. I'm not saying they are, but you got to go door to door, nut up, and go up and talk to these people and make sure you understand where they're coming from. And the individuals that do understand and do abide by the Constitution and want to preserve the Constitution and the American way of life and preserve their liberties and freedoms, get their numbers, get their email addresses. All right, and don't be stupid with them. Don't be irresponsible with them by, loading them up with all kinds of spam email about your own personal agendas. This is more serious than your own damn ego out here, folks. I mean, seriously organize these individuals to go out and vote against these damn power-hungry autocrats that are in office. I mean, get them out of there. I mean, just completely vote them the hell out. Vote them out of your damn city governments, vote them out of your state governments, and vote them out of the damn federal government. And who the hell you're going to vote for? Well, who the hell cares who you vote for? I say vote for anyone who isn't a Democrat or Republican. All right, just whoever the hell it is. Do a little eeny, meeny, miny, mo on there and just vote for them, because even a complete buffoon, even a complete moron could probably do a better job. I'm sure if we had, all the medal winners of the Special Olympics and traded them with, the people in Congress, I'm sure that our country would be, running fabulous. I'm sure we would cut the debt by 70% in 10 years if we were to put, Jerry's kids out here to run the government. And I'm serious. But what the hell, man? Anyway, folks, we got a little less than 30 minutes left here in the program. I'd like to hear from you, 646-652-4869. Let me go ahead and get into a little bit of Afghanistan and Pakistan. I know I've been going off on a whole bunch of different ideas here, but yesterday, some UN little housing development, some area that was designated to house these UN workers that were supposedly overseeing the election process that ended up defrauded thanks to Karzai, that's his name, and Abdullah. What folks really don't understand is that on top of our boys being pop-shotted and killed on a consistent basis nowadays out there in Afghanistan, the American taxpayer had to pay a tremendous hundreds of millions of dollars to hold this Afghanistan election. And lo and behold, thanks to the United Nations and their, oversight, they said that the whole damn thing was a fraud. So now we have to do it all over again, and it's hundreds of more millions of dollars to fund this election. And the Taliban at this current time is understanding that they already hit a contradiction within the system of the propped-up democracy in Afghanistan. By having the United Nations force the government to reestablish a re-election, it has basically nullified the legitimacy amongst the Afghan people of this idea of democracy. And as a result, you have the Taliban upping their offensive. They went in yesterday and went into the area where they were housing the UN people, and blew it up. Suicide bomber simultaneously hit the damn thing up. You know? Simultaneously hit the damn thing up. And killed a bunch of UN workers, and apparently there was some Taliban attempted to go in there with guns. Some truck driver that was a subcontractor for one of the companies out there had to fight off a whole bunch of Taliban insurgents out there with a Kalashnikov, excuse me. And, you know, it's becoming a real spectacle out there. On top of that, folks, I mean, straight off the hot wire here, we've got, you know, some more bombings in Pakistan also. From what I understand, latest report shows that Pakistan was hit up with a damn bomb, and it's killed 100 people, 105 people, in a Pakistani marketplace out here. Anyway, folks, why is all this happening in Pakistan and Afghanistan, folks? Because this Islamic fanaticism, this Taliban, you know, which actually, folks, goes beyond a political idealism. We're not dealing with a bunch of commies here. We're dealing with idiots who actually believe that if they die for the Taliban cause, that they're going to win some sort of spiritual significance in the afterlife. And you've got smart, devious-minded individuals leading a whole army of these freaked-out nut jobs, and they're able to basically nullify all the supposed progress that the United States was making, not only out there in Afghanistan, but in Pakistan. And you see, what the Taliban are trying to do is they're trying to destabilize the whole region. I mean, trying to make it so unsafe that the people that are living within the populace of Pakistan and Afghanistan, you know, they basically just, it renders their governments impotent in the eyes of the populace of Pakistan and Afghanistan. All the bombings, all the car bombs, and you know, all the death, and the kids, and the mothers crying, and all this takes its toll on the psyche of the people. And as a result, at some point, they get so battle fatigued that they actually start crying for the Taliban, as we're starting to see in Afghanistan. The Afghan people are out here protesting the American troops. They're protesting the re-election or the runoff election and the supposed defrauding, ridiculous spectacle of an election in Afghanistan. I mean, they're begging for the damn Taliban. Do you understand this, folks? I mean, you know, what does that leave us? Where does that leave all the individuals that died? Well, just imagine all the investment that we put into this country. I mean, a lot of our debt, a lot of the national debt comes into the investment into making the war initiatives into Afghanistan and paying off Pakistan so the, you know, region doesn't become destabilized and the Taliban grabs a hold of a damn nuclear weapon. Meanwhile, it wasn't but 2 or 3 weeks ago where Obama announced the redefinition of who the insurgency is in Afghanistan. He redefined the mission that, well, we're out there to get Al-Qaeda. We're not out there to get the Taliban. The Taliban is its own faction. We're out to get Al-Qaeda. And yet the Taliban is not only taking pop shots at our troops, pop shots at the UN, and, you know, who cares about the UN people? I think the UN's a bunch of crap, but nobody deserves to die. They're taking pop shots at all these individuals out here trying to destabilize the country so that they can take over and rule in a theocratic type of totalitarian government. And folks, this is some serious, serious repercussions for the United States. I mean, it nullifies this completely in the international community. I mean, you know, this Afghanistan, first of all, I don't understand why we invested all this money in Afghanistan to begin with. Afghanistan is a literal nuclear waste dump. I mean, it is a pissing ground of a country, with all due respect to the Afghan people that happen to be listening. But with all due respect, y'all idiots are living in the 12th century, and y'all don't seem to want to get out of there. All right? Y'all don't seem to want to get out of the 12th century. So I don't understand why we invested all this money into upkeeping the infrastructure of Afghanistan. We should have just went in there, done some black ops operations, and just snuffed out bin Laden and snuffed out all the apparatuses of these factions of Islamic terrorist organizations out here, and that was it. But I think under the, you know, just real hyper-patriotism post 9/11. We wanted to see some results. You know, the American people wanted to see somebody get, you know, their asses handed to them, and you know, because Osama bin Laden was in the Afghanistan region, we decided to go in there and you know, take over Afghanistan in hopes of, I was assuming, to try to capture bin Laden, but that wasn't something that was accomplished, unfortunately. And according to all reports of what is mission accomplished in Afghanistan, it's supposed to be the democratization of the country. And if it's supposed to be the democratization of Afghanistan being the gauge on what is mission accomplished, well then, folks, we failed. I mean, not only was the last election a defrauded piece of crap, but also the women in this country, folks. And I know there's a lot of feminist bulldykes and muff divers that always criticize me of being a sexist, a misogynist, a snake, a lizard, or whatever else you want to call me, because I think that feminists are pieces of crap, and they've ruined the country, and they've implemented the absolute pussification. All right, they've implemented the absolute pussification of America. But the women in Afghanistan, I mean, I just can't stomach it. I'm sorry, I cannot stomach what has happened to these poor women in this ravaged country, in this disgusting pissing ground. These women are put in beekeeper suits. You know, they're put in a damn burqa beekeeper suit. You can't even see anything. All right, not even their eyes, for heaven's sake. And you know, they get clubbed in the middle of the street with billy clubs because they're showing off a little foot. You know, they're getting executed in front of everybody, in front of large crowds because a woman gets raped. Yeah, if a woman gets raped, it's her fault in Afghanistan. She gets executed. And we're supposed to be, you know, implementing some sort of democracy out here? I mean, it's a disgrace. I mean, I just think that we've completely failed. I think that maybe we just need to abandon ship on Afghanistan and just try to make sure that Pakistan doesn't fall into Islamic rule. And what I mean by Islamic rule, I'm talking about Taliban rule. Because, folks, I don't like the idea of the Taliban, some road peasant pissing ground of a group, getting a hold of a nuclear weapon. I mean, I think that's a very precarious situation when it relates to the national security of the United States, and I don't think Obama is really taking it very serious. I think he's very nonchalant about everything. You know, I mean, Pakistan, Afghanistan, I think we just need to focus the energies on Pakistan. I mean, I know Pakistan is trying to make offensives in the Waziristan area, which is the border between Afghanistan and Pakistan. Sorry for saying "stan" so many times, but, you know, it's necessary to explain here. I know the Pakistani government is trying to make that offensive, but at the same time, they are taking pop shots in marketplaces in the middle of, you know, main streets. The main populace are getting pop shotted with all kinds of car bombs planted and taken credit for by the Taliban. And, you know, this has got to stop. I think Afghanistan is a lost cause, with all due respect. I mean, that's it. I mean, you know, I feel sorry for everyone who lost their life fighting in that war, because, you know, I don't think it was for any benefit of America's national security, and nor did it accomplish the great democratization process in that 12th century pissing ground of a country. And I think it's a disgrace, and I think it's sad. I think we should also start focusing a little bit more on Iraq and make sure that Iraq doesn't go down as some fallen, you know, propped up parliament governing body. I hope that, you know, Obama comes to his senses and realizes that we can't have Iraq destabilized, because Iraq, folks, can pay the money back that we invested in blood and treasure into that country. I find it funny that this country now has, you know, is getting close to $1 trillion in surplus. Because remember, once we liberated the country, all the debts were wiped off from every other country that was owed debt by Iraq. So they started with a clean slate, and this governing body started pumping out oil within its oil fields and selling it on the world market at the time $70, $80 a barrel. And at the present time now, they're selling it at that price. and they're making over almost $1 trillion in surplus. And when are these individuals, when is this country going to start paying its dues back to America like the English did when we bailed those limeys out during World War II? Huh? Like the French frogs did when we bailed them out a couple of times. Why don't you give us something there, Iraq, huh? Why don't you start paying us back? Why don't you start saying, hey, thank you very much for coming to my country and getting rid of Saddam. I hate the Saddam. Saddam, come over here. You chop off my head. I thank America. I give you a portion of oil profits. I give you a portion of oil profits for thanks of getting rid of Saddam. I mean, can somebody out there please say these words out there in the Iraqi governing body out there? I mean, say, hey, we need to pay the Americans back. I mean, they spent $1 trillion and, lost, a lot of thousands upon thousands of troops. I mean, seriously, folks, this is not a joke here. I mean, we're throwing ourselves back. We're throwing ourselves back, and it seems to me that people are just accepting the obvious instead of trying to do something to prevent it, Instead of trying to do something to stop it, for heaven's sake. I don't know. Anyway, folks, 646-652-4869. We got about 15 minutes left in the program. Before we move on to winding down the show, I'd like everybody to please bookmark the blog at ghostpolitics.blogspot.com. And I'd also like to plug the little voicemail option that I have on my blog or on the official web page at blogtalkradio.com/ghost. I have a little voicemail option that, if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, it'll say leave a voicemail or a voicemail box. Why don't, a lot of you folks get up off your fat jelly asses and leave me a few messages. I already have heard a few messages that have been left for me, and I really appreciate those messages. Keep them coming. I know they're not all going to be positive. I know that we're going to have some of these damn liberal long hairs or these feminist bulldykes come along and try to spew off their propaganda and all their agitation and slanderous lies and garbage they like to talk about me. But I strongly advise you folks, please leave me a message on that voicemail box. It's completely anonymous, so don't worry about anybody getting your number or anything of that nature. Once again, it's on both the blog and the official web page of the True Conservative Radio program. The blog, of course, is ghostpolitics.blogspot.com. That's ghostpolitics, all one word, no underscores, ghostpolitics.blogspot.com. And scroll to the bottom of the page, and you will see the voicemail option there all the way at the bottom. And it'll say, leave me a message, and I hope that you leave me a message instead of being some butt plug up the ass looking chicken eating corn boy. Anyway, folks, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to wind down the show. We got a little bit under, I think, 13 minutes now, and I'd like to let everybody know that the reason that I'm conducting these broadcasts a little bit more frequently than usual is because I think that we're living history right now. I think we're living history, and I think that everybody who listens to the broadcast, whether live or in the archive, are honestly listening to the last bastion of what real Americanism used to be. The idea of the American way, the thing Superman used to talk about, truth, justice, and the American way, huh? Well, we're losing that, and let me tell you, please, when you're at the damn table, at the Thanksgiving table, at the Christmas table, Hanukkah table, whatever, I want you to initiate debate about this healthcare crap. I want you to initiate a debate about this socialist takeover our country. I want you to initiate debate about all the contradictions that are within this country, and I want you to air them out in the open. I want you to air it out in the open, folks, because this is your opportunity, all right, to assert your influence and assert your political knowledge. If you've been listening to this broadcast, folks, and you're pretty favorable to what is commentated on this broadcast, you hold in your possession a lot of facts that are broadcasted every single time I conduct these broadcasts. Arm yourself with these facts and throw it at these blood-sucking liberals and these muff-diving feminists. Throw it in their faces because, folks, their little ideology is built upon propaganda. It's a facade. It's a fake. All right? It's an illusion. It's not real, because if it was real, why do they have to continuously suck the emotion out of an issue instead of actually giving us the basis and the foundation for it? Why do they got to, sit here and blow smoke screens so that they can undercover and, with snibe and shysterness, initiate an amendment that the American people would never, ever approve? Why do they do this, folks? Why do they sit here and try to sell themselves off as men and women of the people when in actuality they are George W. Bush on steroids? Because let me tell you, all liberals and all feminists, I don't care what feminist or liberal you try to point me to. I don't care if they're supposed intellectuals. I don't care if they're supposed to be, some sort of insightful political scientists. If they are abiding by leftist principles and leftist ideology, they are a disgusting, despicable propagandist. Because there is no substance to the liberal propaganda. There is no substance to the liberal ideology. I mean, how are you going to make it okay to take away hard-earned money from somebody who works their asses off, to give it to somebody else who wants to sit on their fat jelly ass and go to the store and collect T-bone steaks on the American taxpayer dollar via a food card? How can you sit here and call yourself, an American when you can't participate in this government and stop these bureaucrats that are in Washington that are speaking for me and you? How can you not sit back and say something? Why don't you say something about them giving all our tax-paying dollars to Wall Street, giving our tax-paying dollars to the bankers? Why don't you say something? Why don't you call these people? Why don't you email these people? Why don't you go out and cause a spectacle in the middle of the streets? Why don't you let everybody you know go out and organize people? Go out and organize. Go out and elect these damn power-hungry autocrats. They don't give a crap about you. They don't give a crap about your family. They don't give a crap about your kids, but they'll use your kids to emotionally suck the energy right out of you so that you can abide by their ridiculous political persuasion, so you can abide by their political philosophy, and we're not going to take it any longer. I'm not going to take it any longer, and you shouldn't either, folks. You should not take this leftist infestation, this liberal infestation of America, because it is based upon an illusion. It is based upon the ignorance of the American people. And remember, folks, the American people are some damn ignorant pieces of crap. And if you're one of these Americans that are getting all butthurt on that statement, well, tough kitty. All right, tough kitty. You have to face up to the facts that the American public sucks at the present time. And why does the American public suck? Because they lack the intestinal fortitude to go out and participate in this government. All right, to organize, to take responsibility for their communities. They lack the intestinal fortitude to do it, and they're more consumed with materialism, with gluttony, with self-indulgence. All of these factors, all the gluttony, all the materialism has superseded any other concept in the American brain. And as long as you're talking about giving somebody in America something, they're listening. They don't care what it is. They don't care if you're wiping your dirty, bacon-bit-ridden ass crack with the Constitution. If you're going to give them some cash, they're going to sit back and watch you do it. I mean, this is America. Materialism and gluttony has superseded everything. American people today are soulless cash whores, and now that the contradictions are becoming so apparent that they can't stand to keep the blinders on any longer, I mean, it's coming right through the blinders, and they can no longer turn a blind eye to it. Now they want to start talking about something. Now they want to be politically active. Now they want to be intellectually curious about politics. And what are they doing? They're being lured by all these ridiculous groups, leftists, the Tea Party. I mean, give me a break with this alternative to the Republican Party, the Tea Party. A bunch of idiots going out to town hall health reform meetings out here, to town hall meetings about health care. They're going in, they're crashing it with their sweat-stained shirts and their Dale Earnhardt caps and their shitty-stained shorts and their flip-flops. They're going in with their misspelled picket signs out there saying, I want to keep my insurance. I want to keep my insurance. There is nobody with any kind of political substance anymore, and it doesn't take a brain scientist to realize that the only thing we need to do to remedy this problem is take the government out of our faces. How about dismantling all this bureaucracy that's trying to hold control over our lives, over our choices? How about that? Instead of sitting here trying to, supposedly dictate the terms of the economy out here by, putting in supposed $787 billion stimulus packages, which are nothing more than open corporate raids on the American tax-paying system, why don't you initiate discourse with the private sector? Why don't you go to the negotiating table with these countries that have these imbalanced trade deals to their benefit? Why don't we take them back to the negotiating table? Why don't we force them to understand that, hey, look, the reason that these old negotiations were relevant was because your country was a pissing ground, and we knew that you needed the unfair trade balance deal just so that your goddamn country could stay afloat. But now that your country's starting to prosper, and now that your country's starting to profit, we're going to go ahead and renegotiate. All right? We're going to renegotiate out here, but we're not going to do that. You want to know why we're not going to do it? Because you're not asking for it. You're not asking for nothing. And the only people that are asking for something are these idiots collecting the entitlements. Those are the only idiots asking for anything. The idiots collecting the entitlements. What about the middle class? What about the upper middle class? What are you doing? Damn it, don't you understand you're not going to have a job in about 2 years if you don't stand up for your goddamn rights and stand up for your liberty, you fucking... Don't you understand it? Don't you understand it? It makes me sick of it! Don't you understand that? God damn it, I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know what I have to say. I don't know what I have to do to get you complacent American people off your fat cottage cheese asses and start doing something for your country. Stop being a gluttonous piece of self-indulgent, self-righteous piece of crap and do it for yourself. I do it for your country. Do it for your goddamn children. God damn it. I better calm down. I know that I'm getting uptight, folks, and I know that I'm getting a little rowdy here, but I can't help it, man. I can't help it. I mean, this country is being flushed down the proverbial diarrhea-ridden toilet. And I can't take it. Don't you understand that? I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand how hard I have to put it, or how mean I have to put it, or how loud I have to put it. But you got to take your responsibility, damn it. You're an American. It's your obligation. Don't you understand? Every day, every day I wake up, and it hurts to wake up every morning. It hurts to wake up every morning and to see these sour scowls every single goddamn every single day I'm going to walk around these sour scowls because they made the wrong decisions. Because they're ignorant pieces of crap. And they want their handouts. They want more of my tax-paying money. They want more of our money. And I'm calling on you, the middle class. I'm calling on you, the upper middle class, to stand up and start talking. Because if you don't, you might as well accept the impending socialism and communism that is going to be inflicted upon us. And the current situation that is inflicted upon us. Anyway, folks, we got about 2 minutes here. 2 minutes left in the program, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. Please, if you appreciate the broadcast, go to the official blog, ghostpolitics.blogspot.com. Ghostpolitics.blogspot.com and take a look at some of the sponsors out there. It's just a freaking click, damn it. It's just a freaking /ghost. Spread it everywhere, the blogs, the chat rooms, the forums, and let everybody know that true conservatism is still alive, and the American Constitution and liberty and freedom still lives on, and us true patriots that are out here who understand America and who understand that we're not going to take any more of this leftist liberal crap. We're not going to, fall for any more racist or sexual orientation agitation. We're not going to do this. All right, we're going to stand up for what's right. Anyway, folks, please support the True Conservative Radio program. Spread the link like wildfire and tell everybody you know about it. And don't forget the blog, ghostpolitics.blogspot.com. Once again, folks, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. Spread the word. Long live the true conservative movement, and death, 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 death to feminism.
Boar's Head is bringing a slice of Japan to the deli. Introducing Boar's Head Ichiban Teriyaki-style chicken. Tender, slow-roasted chicken breast, coated in our signature teriyaki glaze, where ginger, garlic, and a hint of brown sugar meet for a flavor that's both sweet and savory. New Boar's Head Ichiban Teriyaki-style chicken. The bold flavor of Japan. Now at the deli. Only from Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.